I trust that you will recall from the two previous Breakfast Bible Bites where our psalmist began in this prayer psalm, pleading with God in verse 2 and 3 that the Lord will remember his congregation as he makes his way into the sanctuary where he can see all that the enemy has destroyed as he has inflicted havoc. We pick up in Psalm 74 and verse 4, which reads, "Your adversaries roared in the meeting place where you met with us. They set up their emblems and signs." In the context in this verse it may narrow its application to the prophetic. History teaches us that Nebuchadnezzar destroyed and leveled the first temple, as did Titus in the second temple, 70 AD. Only Antiochus IV, Epiphanes, and the Antichrist yet to come have set up their emblems, ensigns, or battle standards within the sanctuary. Antiochus IV did so in Zerubbabel's temple, Herod's temple at the time of Christ, and the Antichrist in the yet-to-be-constructed Third Temple on Mount Zion. Both events are marked as an abomination of desolation. That's found in Daniel 9:27. Verse 5 and 6 reads, "It seems as if one had lifted up his axe in a forest of trees, and now all its carved work they smashed with a hatchet and hammers." The old King James Version seems to add something to the Hebrew that is not in the original manuscripts and almost renders this verse as meaningless. However, if we consider the woodsman in the forest as a word picture of the enemy of God in the sanctuary, then perhaps we can gain an understanding. The adept lumberjack, illustrated here metaphorically, is like one who lifts up his axe high in the air in order to strike an effectual blow, one that enables him to fell trees rapidly. Comparatively, the ruthless enemy is recognized as dealing with the sanctuary no more empathetically than the woodsman toward the tree that he drops down. It seems to the psalmist that ungodly men are as proud of destroying their woodwork in the sanctuary as the fathers were of carving and erecting it. They smashed and destroyed with hammers and hatchets. As we read about elaborate temple, we can read about the elaborate temple carvings in Solomon's temple in 1 Kings 6:29 through 35. He carved all the surrounding temple walls with carvings, engravings, cherubim, palm trees, and flower blossoms in both the inner and outer sanctuaries. He overlaid the temple floor with gold in both the inner and outer sanctuaries. For the entrance of the inner sanctuary he made olive wood doors. The pillars of the doorpost were 5-sided. The 2 doors were made of olive wood. He carved cherubim, palm trees, and flower blossoms on them and overlaid them with gold, hammering the gold over the cherubim and palm trees. In the same way, he made 4-sided olive wood door posts for the sanctuary entrance. The 2 doors were made of cypress wood. The first door had 2 folding sides, and the second door had 2 folding panels. He carved cherubim, palm trees, and flower blossoms on them and overlaid them with gold applied evenly over the carvings. Well, how does this ancient history affect the church today? It is because we still have the same enemy, and while the temple may be different, in the sanctuary of God today, the enemy is still hard at work, utilizing his hammer of error against the anvil of God's word in his attempt to smash and destroy the foundations of the church. That's you and me, believer. He labors hard through unbelievers as they lay their axe of rebellion to the root of the tree and attempt to chip away at its biblical doctrines.